All right, you're looking live at the Nasdaq. The index today advanced 112 points or 0.81% and closed at 13,926. How about that? You can see here, I'm zooming in because I want to show you the three moving averages. This is the 50, the red line, the green line is the 10, and the pink or magenta is the 21. And they all have converged. You can see there within, half a point there, half a percentage point. So that indicates tight trading. And I'm always looking for, both sides of the trade. You got to think about the shorts and the long here. And if I'm short, the shorts have this narrative that we've got this head and shoulders type of pattern here on the Nasdaq. This shoulder here is a little too studly though for, to really be a head and shoulders. You want to see a kind of a Gumby shoulder here that's kind of going down. But anyway, that's the narrative for the shorts. Also, there's a lot of negative news, a recession, the inverted yield curve, the war. They can think of a million and one things to be negative. I choose to be positive, but that gets me in trouble sometimes too, because you got to be realistic. But the bulls are pointing to a cup with handle pattern on the index on the weekly. So there's, in a sideways market, there's some good for both the shorts and the longs to hang their hat on. And we'll just see how this resolves. I believe we're going to have a nice strong rally into the year end. We're going to take this out here. But, I'm from Missouri, right? No, I'm not from Missouri, but you got to show me, you got to prove yourself. And this thing has not proven anything yet until it can get above this high here. After the pink rally day, we had this rally up to 14,149, and it can't even get above 14. So the Nasdaq still has some work to do, but I think it'll get there. And we're just gonna take it one day at a time, and just trade by trade, stock by stock. And I'm going to start with Apple because I'm going to go to these whenever the index moves either higher or lower. These are the stocks that are responsible, basically the Magnificent Seven or the Great Eight or the Divine Nine. We're going to take a look at a few of them here. This is Apple just forming a base. It's consolidating here. So had a nice run, got up to that 3 trillion market cap, and then pulled back. So looks okay. Looks like it's just consolidating. I like it above the 50, like Microsoft. This is so much more symmetrical and orderly pullback, and then now it's building the right side of the base above the 50. So that one looks a lot better. Google hit an all-time 52-week high. Get it straight, Marty. No, 52-week high today. Anyway, it was in this base. We had it on our watch list last week or the week before, getting a little extended here, but still a strong stock making a new high. We like that. Amazon is on our ready list this week, made a new high today. I did know that, but it's pulling back, and I put this on the list. I like these little pullbacks within the base. Like you can see this is a short base, but it's pulling back here and then rising, and then the one-day pullback and then rising. Now today it pulled back a little bit while the market was up. I'd like to see it just form a little handle there just above 140, and anything about 145 or so is getting a little extended and feels like chasing a little bit. Anyway, Tesla is acting much better. The auto manufacturing stocks are acting a lot better. This is more of a symmetrical base as well. You have the nice sell-off. Now we build the right side of the base. Tesla's looking really good. And like I say, these little pullbacks within the base are, ideal. The pullback to the 21 there. And yeah, so that's a good time to buy. And then of course, what was this, Monday ramped up. So I would not wait for the 299. No. Anyway, Tesla's looking much better. Meta is another one. The Divine Nine, the Great Eight, the Magnificent Seven, another, symmetrical. It's just they're short bases. I mentioned this, all day yesterday. The bases are just short. So I believe they need more time, but they're going to do what they want. We don't always get what we want. We get what we need. NVDA. This one pulled back to the 50 is another one that a lot of negative news here with China and CoreWeave and them faking their numbers and Jensen selling all sorts of stock. These are I believe they're all, time sales, CEOs get new shares all the time. So they're scheduled, they're on schedule to sell. He just, I know he sold a lot, but he has a lot. So anyway, if the shorts were going to win this one, how come they can't push it below the 50 here? Like Apple's below the 50 and Microsoft traded below the 50 and Meta, but NVIDIA, they can't push this thing below the 50. Anyway, we had an IPO today. ARM did very well. It's up 65 after hours. Had a nice session today. I want to get what was the range here? The market range was 55 to 66. Okay. That's a nice wide range, and the closing range was at 75% of the day. So that's a good closing range for that IPO. We'll keep our eyes on that one. Anyway, I'm going to take you down a negative road and bring you back on the positive path. And I'm going to start the negatives with the airlines. This trend is over. I guess after the COVID, everybody took vacations. They wanted to get out. And now that's kind of waning, and the costs of everything have gone up. So people don't have as much discretionary income to just go flying around the world. So these stocks have really been hammered. Delta, this is Alaska. This one way below the 200. I believe the dog of this group, though, is Southwest. This one just cannot get out of its own way. This is just clear downtrend. You can see all the moving averages trending lower. So the airline stocks are the negatives, and the stocks that are saving the day, the stocks that are showing strength are these miners and energy coal stocks. I'm going to go through a couple of these. AMR, I pointed this out here about 190 a couple of weeks ago, and these jackals on Twitter were telling me, oh, I'm going to short that stock. It was like a 190. I said, oh, go ahead. I don't own it, but it just looks good in this base here. And then it broke out and ripped higher. Now it's gone from 190 to 244. So whoever's shorting, it's like $50, underwater. You don't short momentum like that, especially in the markets are, you want to short when you're in a bear market or a downtrending market. That's not this market. That's why I haven't put any shorts on in a long, long time, since last year probably. This is CEIX, another one. You can see this cup with handle, classic textbook breakout, just showing power, making new highs. There you go. There's your consolidation, the breakout, the move higher. The other one is HCC. This one is not as liquid, I do not believe. What's the it trades 614,000 a day. This has a nice kind of a symmetrical shape here. Once again, that's a short little base, but these things are going to do what they want to do, and they're not going to wait for a handle. This one's just taken off 47.17 today. So the buy point would have been around $45. So yeah, that thing is still actionable, but then you can see the buyers are coming in, the volume's increasing. So those ones look good as well. I got to mention the miners in this morning's report. I mentioned 3 or 4 different miners that were really ramping in pre-market. Kamiko is definitely one that is showing strength. You can see the classic cup with handle breakout, the pullback to the 50 for the first time, and then ramping higher. That one looks great. BHP, I don't know, this one had news. I believe this one had news this morning. Yeah, it gapped up. Nice day for BHP. And the other one was Rio, I believe. Yeah, nice gap higher with volume. These things are in downtrends though, so they've been consolidating for a while. Definitely something to watch. Same with the uranium trade. These this one here. 4 U's, and this is consolidated for a while now. That I don't like trading stocks under $10. Rarely do I put something like that on, but that trade is working out. Anyway, I'm going to go to the retail because I love the retail. I love the retail group, probably my favorite group, and probably done best for me besides technology over the years. But anyway, CASY's, this one had, a short, 7-week flat base, right? And this decided to move. It's not waiting around. And this is the third day, 3-day rule. Usually after a gap up in 3 days, probably time to take some profit there around 280 and just trim a little bit. That's a nice move. That's a nice 3-day move. Murphy USA, it's moving in concert with CASY. You can see this a nice 3-day move here as well, breaking out of this little short consolidation area. And the other one that we had on our ready list last week or the week before was MNSO. This one broke out, pulled back, and then had this day right here, August 22nd. Yeah, and like a 10% move with strong volume, and it's just been ramping ever since. So congrats to the longs there. A couple people on Twitter told me that they belong to MC stocks and bought that one, are still holding it. So congrats to you guys. MC Stock Charts has some good ideas. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm taking a random walk today. It's Thursday. Just looking at the the landscape, viewing the fish tank from afar. No trades today for me. Eli Lilly, this one made a new high and pulled back. Looks like it's having trouble with that 600 number. It's had a heck of a run. And we want to talk about long-time winners. I mean, just from 2008, since the financial crisis, this thing's just been a beast. So, the way to make big money in the market is to buy right and sit tight and let these things go to work for you. And quarter after quarter, they're delivering stronger sales and earnings growth. Those are hard to find, though. It's easier said than done. This is a Novo Nordisk, gapped higher. Now it's just forming this like a 4-week base here. They're going to split their stock next week. I expect some selling ahead of a stock split. It really had this big gap up, and it's just some kind of trading flat since. No great shakes, and like I say, here you can see a lot of volume coming in because of the stock split. And if you have 1,000 shares, you can sell 500, and next week you'll have your 1,000 back because you're getting a 2-for-1 stock split. It'll be worth half the price, but it'll still have the same amount of shares. Anyway, I don't think like that. I'm just holding on to my Novo. And this is CRNX, another one. This gapped higher on the FDA news, and then the third day it pulled back a little bit. Today had an inside day, but a super strong stock. And you could see this was up, cool, 83% this week. So that's a pretty good week for CRNX. I'm just gonna, like I said, take a random walk and look at some stocks we have on our leading stock list or on our watch list today, because that's just kind of what I feel like doing. Elf Beauty, this is the first time it's sold off 5 days in a row since this, as far back as this chart goes. I would have to do a date back on this to look and see, but yeah, 8 out of the last 9 days this thing has sold off, but it's just traded back from, it had that 137, then traded back to 114, and yeah, I know you could call this a double top as well, but all cup with handles are double tops. Anyway, it's just pulled back. Today it closed below the 21. Woo, spooky, 0.5% below the 21. To me, this is fine. You got to expect after a massive run like this, there's going to be some profit taking. I want this thing to form a base, and I believe it is right here from that 137, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week base. So give it a couple more weeks, to just kind of flop around that 130 number. That would be nice. 125, 135 in there, and just kind of bide its time. These little elf legs got to be tired after all that running. And to me, it still looks good. Another retail stock, Celsius, having trouble with that 200 number, no doubt about it. I know they were upgraded this morning by Wedbush, and after the bell today, there was a note out with a $225 price target. I believe it was upgraded again. And, you don't like to see a stock being upgraded and not moving. So that's kind of a negative, but I just think that 200 is a magnet for this stock. And we need to see it kind of blast through, but it is allowing its moving averages to catch up. Right now, it's right about as 1.9% above its 10 EMA, so it's doing fine. Nothing wrong with the Celsius. I'm drinking one right now as we speak. I like the drink. I like the product. Uber is another one that I like that I'm putting on our watch list. Like I mentioned, these pullbacks within the base, to moving averages. I kind of like that. It pulled back again. Today it was flat, but like I said, these are short bases. I would like them longer. You know, the longer the base, the bit higher in space, but 7 weeks, like I said, they're going to do what they want to do, and I don't want to miss out on a move higher. So I'm going to put this on the ready list, and I might even take a swing at that thing next week, seeing how it reacts. ANET is another one of our stocks here. At MC stock charts, doing nothing wrong. Looks a little bit like ALF, just pull back to the 21. Light volume. You know, this is just probably a little bit of profit taking after a big move. This thing's had a big move from 133 to nearly 200. So ANET looks fine. Caterpillar is another one, just forming this base here, and it's just not long enough. You know, it's like a 6-week base. I want to say, yeah, 6 weeks. You can see how big this base is. It ran up, formed another base, and now ran up, and now it's just a 6-week base. So these things, I believe they need time, but you know, they're going to do what they want to do. So if this thing rips 10% tomorrow, it's so be it. Weatherford's another one that I like. Just pulling back, you know, the oil is up around what, $90. I mean, it went from 70 to 90 pretty quickly here, and I'm not a real big fan of oil. I do have some stocks that I want to look at here later on, but this is definitely a leader. It's going into the S&P Mid Cap 400 on Monday. This is Tidewater, just pulling back to the 10 EMA. That one looks good. The air conditioning HVAC stocks. This is Fix, another new high today, right? And then pulled back. Looks like it closed near the low of its daily range. Yeah, 192.33. That is a new high, but it closed at 15% of its daily range. So we don't like that. Modine. This one pulled back to its 21, doing nothing wrong. Had a nice run. You know, when they go from 27 to 47, they deserve a little rest. I would say this thing too is just consolidating here in this little base here, and just needs more time, you know, to kind of do something like this. Yeah, and so I'm going to watch that one. Let's see what else we have. SDRL. This one broke out of a base and then now has returned to its 50 for the first time since the breakout. So definitely watch that one. It's another oil and gas stock that I like. Power, this one, you know, another one that just needs more time. It had that 206 and just is in this little base period here. It needs more time to kind of handle out, but it looks good to me. Builder, I believe this is doing the same thing. Yeah, pretty much. Ever since it made that 156 on earnings, traded down to the 122, just kind of, you know, in a range here, forming a base, doing nothing wrong, really. I mean, you can't expect these things to go up every week or every month. ACLS, this is forming, once again, this short little base here, and starting this handle here. It fell below its 50, and now it's just trading right along its 50. Look, I could close right about at its 50 today. Yeah, 0.1%. So it's at the 50. But like I said, it needs more time. This is only a 6-week base. Anyway, those are the stocks on our watch list. I mean, our leading stock list, and that very well could be on our watch list. This is STRL. Has this big gap after earnings, held its gains, and now just kind of trading sideways. It did slice its 21, but had an inside day today. That one looks fine. Diamond Offshore, the driller, once again, you know, just a short little consolidation period, but being supported by the moving averages, had an inside day today. That one looks fine. XPRO is another oil and gas field services stock that I like. This has got an elongated handle. You can see this big cup and a long handle, and I could show you a long handle from AMD from 2020 that I had back in the day. I might as well do that since I'm bringing it up. This is AMD in 2020, and you want to talk about a long handle here. Look at this cup with handle, with handle, with handle. Drive me crazy, because every stock was ripping at that point, and this one just went sideways for like 3 months. And this is just one of the longest handles I ever held through. And I know it sliced to 50, but I held on to it because it wasn't that big of a position. Then it just ramped from what, 48 to like almost $90. But that's called patience, you know, being patient and holding in a trade and having conviction in a stock. But anyway, I digress. I want to look at the handle on XPRO once again, since I just showed you NVIDIA, and this thing could handle out for a lot longer, even if the market takes off. So if you're holding that, it's going to require some patience, I believe. But longer term, I believe this one's going to, you can see that nice base here, and it's shown the ability to make these big moves, pull back, big move, pull back. Now I believe it's going to handle out and make a big move once again. So I'm keeping my eyes on that one. Another oil and gas stock that I like is CRC. And this one, got to look at the weekly here, just a long consolidation period, and it just broke out of its base. But this one looks good to me, showing strength and trending higher with its moving averages. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. I do have one more thing, a couple reports after the bell. Adobe, down slightly. I don't know. I don't trust the jackals trading in after hours. We'll see how that thing resolves itself in the next couple of weeks. That was a fantastic report from Adobe. I know it's had a big run, but we'll see. That was a strong report. Lennar down 0.5%. They had a good report too, beating on metrics. The only thing was that their average home sale fell from like 500,000 to like 450. With the rates going up, the prices should moderate a little bit. And the last one I want to talk about is CVNA. Got to end on a good note. I talked about this yesterday, how these things need time. It's got a cup with handle, and this thing says forget time. It ramped nearly 14% today, which you can see that this is a short base or 7 weeks, but this one's not waiting around. It's got a heavy short interest, and it looks to me like it wants to run higher. There it is, 13.47%. Yeah, nice move here for Carvana. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. And at MC Stock Charts, we never give up.